Hello, I'm Pamela, and I'm back again to be with you. And today I want to spend a little time talking to you about mindset because mindset is so important. It took me a season of time to really begin to master mindset and to think about, to change the way I'm thinking. And I don't want it to take you as long as it took me. So the scriptures tell us that we can have what we say, also, that we should be renewing our mind, which means making sure we're challenging the way that we are thinking about life in general or about our future. We also know that if we want to talk about scripture, that in the book of Ephesians, we're told that God's plans for us are huge and beyond anything that we could ever dare or dream. So, just with those gold nuggets, just on their own, I find that I'm challenged to believe bigger and for better things. Now, it's one thing to say, I know that the Creator has great things for me. I know that God has wonderful plans for me, for you. It's another thing to begin to really walk those thoughts out. We can't just say, I know it. Like, I believe it. We have to actually be living it from the inside out. So now comes into play daily declarations, gratitude lists, actually having time. I call it think time, where you just sit down and close your eyes and think about the kind of future you want. And I'm keeping my eyes closed on purpose here for you, where we think about what does it look like in that place of what you want? Where are you? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Yeah, you start to build an image of it up here, and you let that drop into your heart, and it begins to create an emotion that goes along with this vision that you're holding inside of you. Here's an example. I remember the day that I was a bride. I'm still a bride 26 years later, but I remember that day as I prepped from the morning when I got up. I remember the excitement and how I would, even without closing my eyes, I could just envision over and over walking down the aisle, what my husband's face would look like as he saw me. That moment that my hand would be placed in his. Come on, we've all done it. And whether you're married or you want to get married or whatever, we've done it. Walked through that whole thing. I'm just giving this to you as my example. Maybe it won't be yours. When it was time for me to walk down the aisle to my man, I had done it 1,000 times because I had already lived it and relived it and relived it. I had walked down to him. I had experienced it. I had seen the look in his eye. It was just finally manifesting. And as the music was playing and I was walking down, I had already taken every step. And when I stepped up on the little platform that they had there for us, and my hand was put in his, it was a moment I had waited for, the moment that I had lived and relived within my head and my heart. And there it was. It was actually happening. And although it was one of those surreal moments, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't going, well, how did I get here? Is this really happening? Because I had held this image in my heart for so long. And certainly that whole day or that whole morning. And then after it was over, and we went into the afternoon and the evening and honeymoon type of details, I could jump back to that moment of walking down the aisle or saying I do, or you may kiss the bride, right? We could just go back to that in a heartbeat. And then everything that I had thought about that I wanted to have at a reception, and we were supposed to go to Hawaii and we couldn't go because of some other things that had come down. So instead, do you know what we did? We brought Hawaii to us. And so we had the whole reception was around that. And it rained. It was all supposed to be outside and it rained. It was like a deluge from Noah's day. It just rained. And so we had to readjust and couldn't use our backyard and had to, because we were doing it outside and had the backyard all decorated and everybody was coming in luau material and material clothing and all of this stuff. We had to move everything to the front, to our garage and our driveway. But okay, I'm saying this to you and I can picture it. I'm there. You see, you already know how to do this and you've probably done it. You've probably done it when prepping for a job interview or a wedding or a vacation. See, the thing is, a lot of times when we begin to prep for that stuff, we can flow over into an area of anxiety and anxiousness and that's not the image we want to project. We want to project, if you're planning that vacation, plan it out. What do you want to do? What does that look like, right? Now, take that same type of thought energy, if I can put it that way, that type of excitement, and use it towards your future. What does your future look like? I mean, in that perfect world, what do you want? What does it look like? Start to think about it. Start to maybe journal about it. Write it down. And do this every day. And then begin to take actions on it. And it'll be easier to take actions on it every day because you're contemplating it, you're thinking about it, you're living it from the inside out already. Your emotions are connected to it. And then watch the doors just begin to spring open for you. I'm not saying it won't be hard work. I'm not saying that it won't take time. But what else do you have but time? My father always used to say that. Pamela, time is going to go by irregardless. What are you going to do with the time? Let's not spend the next 5 years just letting it go by. Let's have a plan. Let's have a purpose. And let's begin to see it on the inside. And then begin to work at manifesting it on the outside. You will be so glad that you did. Mindset is so important. What we think about, we do bring about. Do you see yourself 50 pounds lighter? Do you have a book that you want to write? Maybe you are looking for that perfect relationship. Well, as perfect can be. What is it? Maybe it's retiring. Maybe it's starting a new business. You need to begin to develop that on the inside of you. And that comes with time and experiencing that future within so that you can begin to push it out, promote it out of you. It starts here. It starts as a dream and not far out there a dream. It starts as a dream and it becomes so real that just like when I walked down the aisle, I had done it 100 times already. And that when I did it, when it actually manifests, like I said, I'd already been there so many times and it was manifesting in front of my face. And I was ready. I was excited. I was crying. It was all of that. But I was already ready on the inside for it to happen. I was ready to take that step. Do you see what I'm saying? So don't walk away from this time today and just go, yeah, someday. Don't do the someday syndrome. It doesn't work. Take that think time Make it part of your devotion time. Because if God has a vision for you, how about you lining up with that? Begin to see it in your mind's eye. Begin to walk it out. Begin to live from the inside out as though that vision and dream you have is absolutely not only possible, but it is in the process of becoming. Mindset is everything. Take what I'm saying and apply it, and you are going to see major, major change happen in your life really, really fast. Thank you for listening to me today. And would you do me a favor? Would you press the subscribe button? Would you press the like button? Would you comment and share and let others know that this type of teaching is valuable and that it is needed? The more we communicate this through those little clicks and button pushing, the bigger message we send. And of course, if you want to know more about me, and I would love to be a part of your journey, come and visit me at purposewithpamela.com. All right, and book a discovery call with me, and let's begin to create your dream. All right, it's good to see you today. Continue to be the salt and the light everywhere you go.